people?
What it
What's
do?
up? What's up, everybody?
Life is
Hey,
good.
Hello.
welcome to the Floor is Yours podcast. Hey, we back in action. You know, we took a little break for Black History Month, but we are back because we couldn't be without you guys for too long. Thank you for tuning in. We know you got a lot of options out there that you could be doing. But you decided to join us, and we appreciate you. Listen, we got a banger for you. You know what? We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with some fire. I got my main dude with me tonight, Gerard Rare, also known as Flex, the Cowboy. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, howdy,
But
howdy.
listen. Tonight is a night to celebrate, y'all. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but the first lady of the Floor is Yours podcast is with us
Oh, you
tonight.
too kind.
The queen herself is back. So you know she's gonna bring that heat. And it's gonna be the fire is gonna be as red hot as that lipstick that she is wearing tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amisha, I see. Please say hello to the people.
Well, hello. Now, he really just made me my head got big. This head might not fit the rest of the night. Oh, wait a minute, confetti. I've been gone too long, baby. They got all kind of gadgets, but I am
Yeah.
glad to be back in the chair or to bring my presence back to my family, my co-host, and all of this, and just back into the right setting that I'm supposed to be in. So I don't feel like a stranger, but I definitely feel like I'm in the right place right now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
this is home for you. This is home.
that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. And so, since we are family, we can have a frank discussion. And tonight, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the weeds tonight. And you know, don't adjust your sets, y'all. Yes, everyone is wearing a hat, but me. I'm not. I don't have a hat, so I'm not a hat connoisseur. Otherwise, I will be wearing one tonight. What kind of hat is that you're wearing, Amisha?
Well, it is a piece that I picked up when I was home this past weekend for Grove's Women Conference, right? About talking about we are the masterpiece. And it is
Yeah,
actually designed by a young lady there, and her business is called Classic Craft. And you can see it's my spiritual being, and I've got a couple of different ones, but this
So
one right here sold me because it's got that rose sitting on there. You know, I'm always talking about, the fragrance,
I
but
love that.
yeah, it's a local in Texarkana. Y'all need to hit her up. She is on Facebook. It is Classic with the K, and look on there and find her. If not, later on I'll tag it on my post. But yeah, it's a piece
yeah.
from home.
And we'll do the same on the podcast. So
You
we
got
got
it.
we got to promote our own.
Yes.
Yeah. And Gerard, are you symbolizing that this season is ours with the cowboy hat? That this is the year of the Cowboys?
Man, I say this: every man in Texas need a cowboy hat, or two or three. So, I just been working on my collection for a few, for a few months actually. So this is one of them. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Nice,
Yeah,
Next thing he said he was gonna get, he got to get him some Spurs, and I told him, hold up.
I already got them. I
nice.
already got me some
Oh,
Spurs, so you'll hear me coming. I'll be rattling. That's me, them Spurs. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a hat, but I do have something new that I didn't have the last time I was on the show.
here.
And on Valentine's Day, I got my very first tattoo.
What the
Man,
what?
dog.
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah,
you growing up
Welcome
on
to the
me.
fold, man. Welcome to the fold.
yeah. I
Yeah.
got my very first tattoo on
Welcome to the fold.
Valentine's Day just a couple
Come
of weeks ago.
on. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
so
it
the
was
first
on Valentine's Day. Was this with a date, special woman in your life? What were we working with?
that ain't none of your business. That ain't none of your business. That ain't none of your
Oh, it's
business.
none
Woo,
of
that'd
my
be fun.
business.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if somebody looking for you? It might be their business.
I yeah, that's true. I was with my
Yeah.
girlfriend. Yeah, so my girlfriend was with me when I got my tattoo. So
See
yes,
how he did all that little snapback and snapping, and all he had to
Yeah.
do was
Yeah.
just talk
but
about it.
just tell the truth from the start, right? You never. Yeah, yeah.
I knew I was needed back on this. Never mind.
There you go. You got to keep us straight. Keep us honest. I appreciate it. And what you know what? And what a better show for you to be on than tonight. And tonight we're going to be discussing how to appreciate a man. It's a conversation that I think that needs to be had because we have a lot of discussion around relationships, and it tends to be, and maybe because I'm a man, Misha, you can help me with that. I tend to hear the conversations leaning more toward men how to appreciate women and not women how to appreciate men. So today we want to flip the script. We want to turn those tables around, and we want to share our thoughts about where women make mistakes and how they can improve in showing their man appreciation, showing that he's valued, and showing that he's cared for. And so let's dive into it. And we're gonna always, as we do, we're gonna keep it raw and uncut and real. But I didn't say one thing that I always like to say before we go another further. Please like, share, and subscribe. The Floor is Yours podcast. Tell everybody that you know that we are on and that we're back, and we're coming back with fire tonight. A pre-warning before we get started. We are sure we're going to ruffle some feathers tonight, but that's what we do. We like to bring real and relevant conversations. And so, hey, if we don't ruffle some feathers, then we're not really doing our job. And so here's the deal.
Hey, if I could add just a perspective to that too. You know, you said it does happen both ways, but we are focusing on that. But I just want to add to that, Gregory, that this is not a slight towards women at all. Sometimes, you know, you don't know what you don't even know, right? So we're just trying to bring perspective to some things. And, you know, like always, you're going to end with some great takeaways for people that want to grow and want to do better. You're going to have some great pointers to deliver at the end. So we're looking forward to that. So, and to the audience, you know, this is your show. This is about you. So keep the comments coming. We see people already dialing in and making comments. Get them typed in, and we'll make sure we get to them.
Yeah. Let's get the conversation started. So listen, Gerard, Amisha, we have heard so much discussion about independent women and women not needing a man. That has now become this badge of honor to say that I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man to pay my bills. I don't need a man in my home. I don't need a man to do nothing for me. I tend to believe otherwise. I tend to believe that we're built for community. What do you guys think in particular about this mantra being a badge of honor, that women are expected to be superheroes and do it all by themselves? And if they actually do need a man, or heaven forbid, they say that they want a man, then somehow they're less than what femininity and womanhood is in 2026.
Yeah. Was that a question, Amisha?
That was a question. What about that? What about that, Amisha? Do you think women are less than reaching their full potential if they need a man, or is needing a man okay?
No, I don't think, because I'm gonna put we, I don't think that we're less than. I think that there has to be a sense of balance on what you know that you are capable of doing, but also allowing the person that is needed to fulfill or bring fulfillment to the relationship that you all want to be in. Um, I remember, you know, why do I have to? I mean, I know I can take out the trash, but I mean, he can too. I know I can put gas in the car, but we've been structured through being raised that we need to be independent, and that's fine. Um, I don't like the phrase that I don't need a man,
Hmm.
or I just want you, because I don't have to want you. Like, I can be with you and not want you. I do feel like there is a need that comes with the relationship, the need for companionship, the need to be able to not have to, you know, be so structured on just doing it all.
Yeah.
Because in the end, if you look at it, we get ourselves so beat down, heart health and a lot of different things, because we carry so many bags. I don't want to have to be that woman that don't need a man.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I want to be able to collectively say that there is a part of me that needs somebody that I can rely on. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about rely on someone that can speak to my heart, someone that is
Hmm.
able to handle my heart correctly, be there in, you know, just small things, but also to let
Yeah.
him know that I need him to show up, because he is important on how I navigate to full potential and purpose, because it is important to have somebody that you need and desire to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with not needing a man to help you, but I do think there's something wrong with not allowing a man to help you.
Right.
If that makes, yeah. Yeah.
No,
And if you
it
have a
makes
man,
sense.
yeah. And I think that sometimes even with men are generally and sincerely just wanting to bring value to your life, it's pushed away because of the stigma now that women have to do it all by themselves. I find that stigma more true with younger women. I believe that when women get older, and I hope this is not a slight to anybody, but when maturity sets in, I think a lot of women realize I don't want that cape around my neck all the time. I don't want to be Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, Supergirl and Wonder Woman. I want to be a regular woman. I don't want to have to bring home the bacon and cook it too all by myself. A little help from time to time is okay. And I find that when maturity sets in, you find that partnership is really a blessing and it's not a detriment to your own individuality.
And I also add to not e- add to the maturity setting in. You have to be able to relinquish old wounds. You have to be
Mm,
able to release yourself from the residue of how you saw it presented, how it was done, but even
yeah.
past things that you've been in that somebody didn't know how to collectively show up for you. Because I do know that a woman can be there, but if a man pushes her away, at the same time, now you've got these walls and you put everybody in the same category. So you have to be able to wash out the residue of the old relationships or the old mindset or even how you've been groomed to talk to give an open portal to do. That's just like going to a new job. You can be so groomed that you know all of the ins and outs, but when once you have to go in and learn it a different way, does it take away from you or does it teach you to enhance or to look at it differently on how to navigate it a different way?
That's good. That's good.
Gerard, did you have something you want to say? I felt like you were about to you were chomping at the bit there. We cut you off.
Man, yeah, I'll add to it. I like Misha earlier said baggage because sometimes, and I stated this earlier, sometimes you don't even know what you don't know. We normalize dysfunction, and there may have been at one point a need for you to stand in on your own and make it happen, right? But
Hmm.
I'm just thinking about when we talk about the need. Of course, like all things, you got to define it, right? So you're making sure that everybody's understanding it from the same perspective, but I don't think there's anything wrong with needing each other. I think is everything right, right? If you're in a relationship and the one thing that you don't want is your mate opposing or conflicting with your purpose, your goals, your ambitions, right? So I know if I'm in a relationship, me and Misha in a relationship, right? Just put that hypothetical out there because I know people always try to put us in a relationship. That's my sister from another mister, right? But if we're in a relationship, right? I need her aligned with my purpose, right? If I'm trying to set us up for retirement, I need her aligned with that too. I can't be saving money and then she's out here just spending willy-nilly how she wants to. I can't whatever goals and ambitions I have, I need her aligned. And I think it's everything right about that. Just my perspective.
I totally agree. I think that also in our society, what we found is a scarcity mentality. And that means if I give up my independence, then I'm giving control to you. And so I think a lot of times women, maybe by experience of seeing what their mothers went through, or what their sisters went through, or other women in their community have to go through, they think if I have any form of dependence on a man, that he can eventually manipulate me or take advantage of me. And so I'm going to hold as tight as I can and try to overperform and overachieve so that I'm not giving away any power to him. And that's a scarcity mentality because there is healthy codependence. There is such a thing as healthy codependence to know that you have a partner, as Anisha was saying earlier. It's going to go, hey, you pick up the oldest kid, I pick up the youngest kid. You take them to football practice, I stay home and do the homework. You cook and then you can watch. Then I'll wash the clothes. There is healthy codependence there that we haven't yet learned how to develop.
Well, I used to be her. You can't give me nothing I can't give you back. If I was at the club, you buy me a drink, I'm gonna send you two because I don't need you to miscommunicate any type of line. But of course, look where I just said I was. I was in the club. I was out there with them vultures that just wanted to like bite me and all that old good stuff. But I remember being that if I, get into this relationship and allow him to do so much that my independence would be taken away and I would feel less than a woman. Um, However, getting into a relationship with Jesus Christ made me look at it totally different because this is a man that I don't physically see. I have the presence of the
Mhm.
Holy Spirit that's added to him. And so I can't physically touch him, but I rely on him when my heavy's hard. I lean on him. So I learned that it was okay that I could be independent, but depend on the mate that would be in my life for the things that I needed him to show up with me for or just to be there for me. So it took time for me to get there, but I began to look at it as the relationship with Jesus going forward, in a relationship, not that he was Jesus, but just the fact of what the being in a relationship as a helpmate to me,
Yeah.
or us being with vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other day, Gerard and Amisha, I was watching this interview of this panel of successful women. And all these women were $1 million women in their respective careers, and so they asked them these interesting questions about dating. And one of the questions was, could you date a man who was not as financially ambitious as you? And all of them collectively said no. If he doesn't have the same type of motivation as I do, then they don't see themselves in a relationship with him. And so that made sense on the surface area, because these were high performing, overachieving women who had, multimillionaires in their own respective fields. But that made me think for a moment about the dude who's found a calling and a purpose doing something that's probably less glamorous. So I thought about, let's say, the seventh grade math teacher who feels like that's really his purpose in life, to pour into the lives of these children. And let's just say he's making a respectful $60,000 a year. Well, this woman is making $1 million a year, but it just made me sad for the good guy who is doing good, honest, decent work. And it made me think, and here's the question I want to pose to you both. Do women appreciate good men who aren't making a lot of money? Because it seems to be that if you're not making as equal or more money as I can, no matter if you're a pastor, if you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're a counselor, you're automatically disqualified because you're not on a trajectory of making as much or more money than me. So
Hey,
can women appreciate good men that make less money than them?
let me say something before we answer. I think another way to maybe reframe that or consider that question,
Hmm.
sometimes it shows up as a money issue, but it's
Hmm.
really a purpose issue, right? If somebody else's purpose, and I'm not defining it right or wrong, if someone
Yeah.
else has a different purpose, a different passion, they're going to conflict. So whether it's money, whether it's a part of the country that somebody wants to live in near the beach, and somebody else want to live in the mountains, or rural, like those things conflict. So unfortunately, it shows sometimes in money, but I just wanted to add that perspective to it. Like, it may not be necessarily a right or wrong thing, but if you got conflicting passions, I just think that it's going to be an issue anyway. What you think, Misha?
So when he was talking about they make this money and they want somebody, you said
Yeah.
they had to be on the same, like, how did you word it?
Financially ambitious. As
Okay.
financially ambitious as they are. Hmm.
Okay. So I know men that may not make as much money as me, let's say paper wise, but they know how to invest in another area that has built the back end of us off of the small amount that he makes. But he also has great character in the community. He shows up. So I get what, so I, we limit ourselves with that. I mean, I feel like women, and this is just me, if you're that overly ambitious, some women just don't, you're never gonna get that man, because if they're out, like they always say, most of the men that are in that department are already married anyway with their families and already secure. So it may be a very small number. However, I've seen a man be at McDonald's and he probably been there, whatever, but he's got a career there, stocks back him up, investments. You gotta look at a broader picture than just, if that's my ambition, I just need him to be able to navigate what we got, but not be intimidated by what I am, but I can respect what he brings to the table.
That's good. That's good. And I think a part of it too is kind of feed over for what I said is if, like Gregory said, if he's operating in his purpose, he's passionate about it, he's worthy of your trust, he's dependable. I mean, I think those are some of the core values that we should focus on. Now, again, if somebody goes out, and this is another way to look at it, if this woman goes out and she takes herself to another level financially, and she says, like, you know what, I want somebody that matches me financially because I don't want to take on a burden, or for lack of a better word. I get it. That doesn't make her a bad person.
Right.
But if she advances herself as such to where she wants a certain lifestyle, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, again, I want to take that out of it. Sometimes it just don't match up, and I think maybe the man shouldn't take it as personal unfortunately shows up in money in that instance, but it can be a number of things that says like, you know what, I don't want to be with him because of that. This one just happens to be money. And I think looking at it that way could, lessen the blow to that man.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I think we have to be honest with what our own happiness looks like and what our expectations are in a relationship. And your expectations are your expectations, and that's okay because you have to live your own life for you. And when we try to force a square peg into a round hole, just because we think I should like this or I should not like
Right.
that, then you're setting yourself up for failure. The first person you need to be honest with is yourself and go, okay, can I be happy with this? Because if not, you're going to wind up cheating or you're going to wind up disappointed in this relationship in the
Hey,
long
let me
run.
let y'all take this comment
Yeah.
right here from Mia. We always appreciate the comments. This one right here was right on par with what we're saying. So somebody want to read that and then address it?
Sure. It says you can have $1 million salary and be $1 million jerk. No thanks. Money can't be the only indicator motivator. It comes and it goes. Trustworthy, reliable, honest, respectable. That is golden. Couldn't agree more. Could
I
not
agree.
agree more. Money doesn't make you a better person. Money just reveals who you actually are. And so if you have money, you're going to be a bigger jerk than you were if you didn't have money. So it's just amplifies the
That is so true.
situation.
That is so true, man. Just show who you really are. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So we're talking about how to appreciate men. So we're talking about these different scenarios that we hear about on social media, in the movies, and in highways and byways. And I'm always curious about what women say to other women about they want. Let's talk about this infinite list that women tend to have. He has to be 6 foot, 6 pack, making 6 figures, and all of those things. But what if God told you that you was going to marry a preacher that was 2 inches shorter than you? Your blessing may not show up that way. And here's the truth. Oftentimes you will find that God has the greatest sense of humor that I think of anybody else ever out there. And so he will show you that the things on that list aren't the things that he has planned for you. Here's a tough question to ask. How humble do you think women can be when they find a good man who doesn't match the items that are on their list of must-haves?
Well, in this chapter of my life, I'm gonna find out.
Okay. So God said to you, "Hey, you're gonna marry a guy that's 2 inches shorter than you and is a 7th grade math teacher."
Well, I'm not gonna get no instructions. What I'm saying, okay.
Okay.
But I'm telling, I've never been the
Okay.
list girl though, never. And I really got when I would listen to it, and I think I learned a lot more with our crew when it got to be when we would talk about relationships together as a crew, and would hear some of how my sister girls would this list, this, that, and the other, and it was never me. Now I always just want one a little taller than me, and I know I've said it on here before, like Lord, tall glasses of water. I always kind of liked them a little bit taller because I like to kind of reach up around their neck, and I was like, but a tall glass of water has always left me parched, Lord. So that ain't working. And then I was talking about that teacup. I'm like, Lord, I don't know about a teacup. That means a little shorter. And so I just was like, maybe we can just meet in the middle like a stemless wine glass, not too tall, but not too little, but in the middle. And then I was like, it's always why? And this is just where my maturity came in. How do I write a list to a God that knows everything that I need and desire? And he knows what would be best for me. And so if you say, the plan that you have for me and all of these different things, I was just like, I trust you at this stage of my life. Back then, I'm listening to how they telling you to do it at the church. Write the vision, make a plan. They tell you all this type of stuff, and you fall into that. And so I just began to look back at and take track of my own life and say, well, Lord, if I've written the list and these things came about and came to pass, you've given me what I asked for. Now, why it didn't work out? Whole nother story. But I'm just saying. So I began to take away, just to get it. Not even I've never did it, but it never been anything I desired to do as to just write it down like that. I definitely wanted to now on there just to be
Okay.
able to say I do have children. I have grandbabies now. It is a place that I desire to be, to know that when it comes to me, I'm not looking for you to be their dad. They have that. But to be able to be and become with me and my children and my grandbabies, because they are a part of my life, and so we be able to flow and be and become. So certain things begin to be a little bit more important about structure, how you will build foundational in their lives as well as my grandchildren. It's just more that you think about it when you get past just yourself and you get older in life. So the list is not a top priority for me, but if the Lord comes through, I don't think I want I don't know if I this gonna be typical. I don't know if I want a man that is strong in the foundation of love, but I don't think I want a pastor.
Why not?
No, because I already know that for me, I'm holy, but I do got a little bit of hood, and I just will be myself. Um, if I saw a whole spirit in the church, I'm gonna check
Ratchet
a whole
and
spirit in the
righteous.
church. I'm just saying, totally different. So I just know where I know where I really wouldn't fit well, because I've seen too many of the women that I love dearly that walk in there, and that's a heavy mantle to carry. I'm not saying I'm not trustworthy of it. I just don't desire the mantle. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But however, if he puts it
Yeah,
on me, then that means he's gonna quit me for it. So let me put that clause in there, okay?
Yeah.
Lord,
I can see you as a
I'm a
first
first
lady
lady
though.
now. The first lady I see.
No.
That's right. You are the first lady of the Floor is Yours
Hey,
I'm
Gregory,
podcast.
not
so
So
that.
let's
definitely
I'm
always a
just
first.
why
saying.
don't we take a moment to talk about what a lack of appreciation can look like? Because sometimes we don't, I said earlier, we don't even know what we don't know. And you can have
Mhm.
someone you're in a relationship with, and you don't realize that you're not showing true gratitude or appreciation for what they bring.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? This is going to sound probably odd or something that we don't discuss a whole lot. One of the major complaints that I hear men say that feels insulting to them is when their wives cut off their joy
mm,
or stop them from laughing or they stop their happiness. And so a lot of times men when they're in love, we like to be silly with our lady. You know, we like to be playful and tickle. And but when your woman checks you on that, go now or say something kind of short to you about act like a man. Oh, that wasn't that funny. You acting really goofy. Why are you so silly? But not in a
mm,
complimentary kind of way, but like kind of a stern correction. That man tends to not want to repeat that behavior again. So when you find him being flexible and being fun loving and giddy and silly, men really want space to be able to let loose in that
That's good.
capacity also. And men don't feel like they have enough space in relationships just to be silly, just to laugh and not be mocked for being childlike
Yeah.
in a moment. Because once he is mocked for that first time for showing his boyish side, he never
Yeah.
shows it again. He feels like he has to be stoic. He has to be keep that masculine
mm,
frame continuously because he doesn't want to feel that injury again of being called either effeminate or
Yeah.
childlike or goofy or silly. So that's one big area that I don't think a lot of women are aware of. Don't stop your man from expressing the boy
Yeah.
inside
and
of
see,
him.
that's attractive to me. I want, because I be over here I be hyping them up. Like, baby, do that one more again. How did you say that? Because I'm a free spirit, and I would want that, to be in him. If you can't laugh, if you too stiff necked, I don't want you.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh and be free to be you, or the inner, like you said, the inner boy come out, I just don't need no dullness in my life. I mean, I'm living freely, and I desire him to be free too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a balance though. I mean, because on the opposite side of that, one of the big complaints is men, grown men that play video
I don't
games.
want that.
And so well, there you
Well,
go,
let me
right?
say
And
this.
so
I
for
don't want it to take over where
mhm,
he doesn't know how to collectively communicate, and that's just all he do, because he
Yeah.
still needs his own space and time for
Right.
himself. So I'm not
yeah,
saying that. Now I just don't want you to be over there, fussing with the TV, hollering at the boys and all this, but then you don't know how to get off of it. Now that's a little extra.
That's good. That's good. Here's one too. In the communication space, overly over talking the man or interrupting. You know, that's one of the things I always say. Like if you constantly, I'm not saying you're excited and hey, I jumped in on the conversation here and there,
Mhm.
but constantly over talking, disregarding, his time to speak when he's talking, that kind of thing. That's a lack of appreciation, and I think it's even borderline disrespectful, right? When you start to do that consistently. Now it makes me feel like what he got to say doesn't even matter.
I hate that. I hate that when I'm trying to make a point, and before you get the point out, it is cut off before you even understand what I'm
Right.
trying to say. You're going to assume what I'm trying to say and not even hear me out. Like I don't even want to talk anymore. Like you already think you know me, so go ahead
Man,
and
that
talk to me.
Gregory over there
We're
pouting.
done. I got nothing to
Wait,
say.
Gregory he leaned
We're
back
done.
before he set up to say what he needs to say. I don't appreciate that. Don't cut Gregory off.
Yeah, yeah,
Let him
That's
finish.
right. Please don't.
yeah,
Please don't.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Hey, let's go to a couple of these comments, and then we're going to jump to a commercial break. We always like to recognize our people. We got our good friend Mia. She
Mia.
recognized the cowboy hat. I
Oh, they
appreciate the
loving that
love.
hat tonight.
Yeah. Oh, Kayla, my seed. She's saying, check out the cowboy hat. My cousin, I call her Fire Girl. That's why I know
Oh,
it is. Everybody else
Delisha.
calls her Delisha. Yeah. And my
Delisha.
cousin replying to Kayla. But we got a comment right here from Jimothy. Misha, you want to read this one?
Yeah, I had saw it, but it was so up in the heavens, I didn't know how to. No, I
Well,
don't.
let
I
me
don't. I don't. I'm gonna
It's
go
let
ahead.
it's
Can
Gregory
you read
read
it?
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. But they were created to be with a man as a helpmate. If we are talking about etymologically the reason for the creation of the woman, now understand the practical implications of the woman of this day is far from the original intent. Talking about what was the purpose of a woman, God did create Eve to be a helpmate for Adam, but that doesn't take any responsibility off of that. Explore this a little bit more since we have as a discussion. So when God made Adam and Eve, before he created Eve, he created a man with a purpose. He gave a man a mission. He gave the man a job. He gave the man a design. He gave the man something to do. And then he made a woman. And so that's symbolic of the nature in which a relationship should follow. That a man should only link up with a woman should only link up with a man that has a word from God about where his life is going. And so, if a don't waste your time, who has first heard from the Lord about what His mission is, and so thank you for say a lot of women, a lot of heartbreak. So women were created to be a helpmate, yes, but the man was first to hear from God first. And so, if he hasn't heard from God, don't waste your time.
Yeah. And just to add good context to that, so that doesn't mean that what the woman won't doesn't matter, right? It is saying like for
Right.
this purpose of populating the earth and survival and good order and discipline. That first, like, hey, what the first order of business is, your family and protecting those that you brought into this world. Now, if she has goals and ambition and hobbies and all that stuff, of course you take those into account as well. So yeah, I don't
So
see.
Yeah.
when Gregory breaks that down, so the way he said Adam was already equipped. So he was all that mean he was already basically tending to his house, food, buying groceries, doing these things. And a helpmate comes in to be an additive to that. Is that correct? That's
To
how you that's what I'm
enhance,
hearing,
to
right?
enhance. Yeah,
And
a woman
so that means a
enhances a
man was
mission.
already equipped to do some things because he was a single man at this
Yeah.
point. And then when he
Right.
came into covenant, then there was that she came in to add to the purpose that he was to fulfill in the earth, correct?
I
Correct.
like
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just want to, I just have to go simple. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with what he said. Sometimes for me, I need simpler format. And if
yeah,
it's a little bit over me, I have to kind
yeah,
of hear it broken down just to be able to kind of respond back to it. So that's,
yeah.
thank you for that.
I would like to have a discussion around that because I hear a lot of men weaponize the word helpmate and say that they are subordinate to men. Women, as we've heard the old adage, and it's completely true, whatever you give a woman, she makes better. And so, what a woman's gift is, she enhances whatever project or mission that you have. And so women, be careful when you link up with a man. Make sure that your superpower of enhancement is going toward a godly purpose.
Yeah, that's good. And then just taking in the perspective of the show, do you appreciate your man? I think a lot of times women are picking wrong, right? And they're entering into a relationship with someone that don't have purpose, that don't. And I'm not saying that he got it all together, but at least he understands his purpose. He's trustworthy. He's, has vision, and he understands where he's trying to go. So I think sometimes when you the perspective of appreciation has to be considered in light of, does he have purpose, right? And if he don't, and you get in there, it's just a matter of time where you're not going to appreciate what he is, and I think it's natural. But now you got yourself in this sticky situation, and that's a whole nother problem to have to deal with.
And
And I can tap into that because however, I've been in a place where I valued and I appreciated, but however, when I begin to not be appreciated for appreciating, then
Yeah,
I tapped out. I
yeah,
was like, I'm trying to be, or I'm being present for you. I see everything in you, but because of the way we are structured in our biblical teachings, then you would that when you begin to smother out the flame that a woman has to be able to show you appreciation, that becomes uh a flame that flickers out, and then there is
yeah.
nothing that lights it. So I can see on the opposite end, when even when a man, if he thinks he knows his purpose, because some do, because only they're only sustainable when they're in the house of God, but when they come out of it and they're privately at home, they don't know how to accept it that way, if that makes sense. And so yeah, if me and when you get that helpmate and she's there and pours into you, and even if it's something that you're not used to, I think it is a very important thing to be able to verbalize that. Now, I'm not saying that I don't appreciate it, but I've never had it, so I don't know how to be receptive of it
Yeah, that's
instead
good.
of just not saying anything. So there's a lot that comes with it, just the communication of it, just communicating.
That's good. That is good. Yeah, we got another comment over here. We're gonna get to where are my comments?
I
Oh,
see some over there.
If I could just add to that for just 1 second, you find women who have bad pickers, and when they are hurt and bruised by these bad men that they pick, one of the things that I hate is that they lump all men into that same category. That because you've made a few bad choices, now all men are dogs and cheaters and no good. We have to be very careful with using these absolutes because there are good men out there. There are men that are honest, that are faithful, that are trustworthy, and we have to be mindful that one person's experience is not reflective of the collective of everybody out there. And so there are a lot of men that are just getting attacked for no reason at all. And you got to be careful because if you pick one dog, two dogs, three dogs, what's the common denominator? And if you keep
What they
finding
call it,
yourself,
dogs, man?
you keep finding yourself with dogs, and you got to stop serving up the outpost. You got to check yourself and realize what it is, what pattern that you are
Correct.
creating that's bringing these dogs to your front porch.
Because
Roof.
clearly your fragrance ain't changed. So if you
Mm-mm.
was out there being a dandelion, baby, you need to turn into a morning glory.
There you
Hey, but let's.
something.
I love perspective. Like when people hear something, it triggers a thought in them. So I think that's what happened with Mia here. One of y'all want to take this one from her?
I understand that, Gregory. I tend to be a more serious person, and my hubs is a playful person. Yes, he is. That's my brother. Sometimes I have to catch myself from being too serious, so I just join in the jokes. LOL. I mean that, cause let me tell you something. Him and his Lord and Savior, baby, he gonna go to the car out there in the front of the house, and he gonna get his praise on, and he don't care who looking and who gonna say something, who gonna check him. Nobody. And he just be free spirit. So yeah, he really is a free spirit, and it is a joyous thing to see. And then to see you, so support him, share him, even in those moments. I say kudos to you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I don't think women understand that men have to keep this masculine frame up all the time. And that is very rare that we just get to relax our shoulders and get loose. That because when we're at work, we're out walking about, we are expected to be the protectors. And so we got to keep that masculine frame up. And then we just love it when we're able to just relax and chill and be silly. That is such a relief to us.
So let's go to commercial break real quick. Come back and we'll continue the discussion. Keep the comments coming, y'all.
Real men talk. If I had a group of brothers that I could confide in, a group of brothers that encourage me to be the best man possible, that hold me accountable for actions, but brothers that won't beat me down when I fall short. If I had brothers like that in my life, I'd open up more about my challenges. I wouldn't be afraid of being vulnerable and transparent. I'd be more deliberate in my actions and not scared of failure. I wouldn't act like everything is okay when I'm hurting inside. Sometimes it seems like there's an all-out assault from the world on black men, and hurtful words from my lady cut deep. I can't show my pain, 'cause if she knew that she hurt me, she would do it over and over again, hoping that each time cut deeper than the last. I do understand that women have challenges too. That's why I work so hard to be the strength she needs. But I need a band of brothers who understand that sometimes I simply want them to listen. Sometimes I need advice, but other times I need a shoulder to lean on. I need a band of brothers that create a safe space that gives us all a chance to talk about our fears. Because it's therapeutic when real men talk. Real men talk.
Oh, my bad. Let me there we go. Gregory, tell us about real. What you got, I see?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Man.
that's dope, right?
Yeah, because I could see my son in that because he's a younger generation and
Mhm.
how they tend to, for me, my son would come to me a lot with a lot of things. I'm his mother, true enough, but there is a space that he needs to be able to cry and to show feeling and all of these different things. And men need that space and just to hear him break it all down. But even when he said that um, if the woman was to come back and to hit him with a dagger when he showed that he was hurting, that she would do it over and over, come back and hurt him again. Man, that's a deep conversation within itself right there. But it also says
Yeah.
something about the women that have done that or do it.
Yeah.
Wow. You are reading my mind because that's actually the next way that I feel that men are underappreciated is
Hmm.
when you don't keep his vulnerability to yourself. Vulnerability to a man is as sacred as a woman giving her body to a man. So when a man gives you his vulnerability, here are my fears, here are my weaknesses, this is my Achilles heel. Um, that is as sacred to a man as you giving your body to him. And so when a woman goes and tell her mom or her sister or her best friends or the girls at the beauty shop, my man can't do this, or he was scared about that, or he, that is a pain that that lasts and lasts and lasts. That's a hard recovery for men when that confidentiality is broken. That's a hard thing for us to come back from because generally our woman is the only safe place we have in life. Even if you have the best friend, Gerard and I are good, are cool. We're like brothers, but there's still some things I'm only going to tell my lady. I probably won't ever share with Gerard. And when that trust is broken between me and my lady, I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to go because I want to be vulnerable, but then I feel intimidated by doing it in front of a man because I keep that masculine frame. So yeah, that is another way that men feel unappreciated.
So I hear two things though. You want a safe place with your brotherhood, but you're scared to take off the Superman cape or to let
Yeah,
him know that you hurt.
yeah,
So, but then you depend solely on her to be the safe space. I feel like she should be, but I also feel like we get a lot of weight with that as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
And when it comes down to it, I'm gonna be honest. I want to be a safe space, but I don't want to be the vault keeper. I don't want to be that because a lot of the things that you probably need to express to another man and I may need to be able to get some sound advice on it. Doesn't mean that I'm betraying you, but I need to know how to navigate you. And I've been there before. And when you get that and you don't have any other outlet to be able to
Yeah.
understand or to handle you differently, that's another place where you begin to be suffocated in something and you tap out. So I feel like there needs to be a balance. Yes, we are safe spaces and you should trust us with everything, but we shouldn't be the totality, the finishing point of it.
Yeah, I think
I
both
just
y'all, yeah, both y'all are right in saying the same. I think to Gregory's perspective, it's when somebody does it maliciously,
okay,
right?
I got you.
Some
Yeah.
malice, like, hey, I'm going down to tear him down versus, but even then, when you do share it with the best intentions, it's one of those things like, man, you talk about discernment or whatever, right?
Mhm.
'Cause sometimes you can only help in so much in so many ways, and you do
Mhm.
need somebody else to step in. But if we want to take it back to how our ancestors did it when we were actually community and we trusted each other, right? To help in, jump in. Men were around other men and they built that safe space that when they couldn't go to their mate, they couldn't have that. But that's not always the case anymore. So yeah.
Because I do feel like men have a lot in common when it comes to hurts and disappointments, but the lack thereof discussion of it is where, because so this is just taking me back to what you just presented. This place that real men need to talk, and you guys need this space to be able to let your shoulders, and you do need it outside of just the woman that you're with. So, and that's I'm just kind of
Yeah,
going back from what we're talking about this, but then you presented the safe space you all need. I think there's a balance that needs to be there.
that's good. That's good. And I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Greg.
But I would like for women to walk away with the understanding that we value knowing that we can trust that our insecurities can stay with you and you're not going to
Got you.
put our business in the
And
streets.
And you would hope that you're so locked in that you could tell him like, hey,
Right.
this is beyond what I can help you with. I think we should together figure out what our next steps are because I
Right.
can help you that this is above my pay grade or whatnot. So right. But I do like this comment right here, and it's kind of related when you're talking about a man's vulnerability. And I like my fam. He says,
One
Colin
week.
Cuckoo, but I mean, he says 1 week situation or a moment with the man does not define the character of every man.
Amen. That's truth
You're
and
right.
fact.
So grouping them together or 1 week moment doesn't define even that one man either. So just
Right.
to add that on that, I'll let y'all comment on that.
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, situations do come up, but we put, like you said, when something happened, we put everybody in the box.
Yeah,
Yeah, all y'all dogs. I mean, well, the way I look at it, dogs are treated differently. Depends on which type of dog you're working with. Because pit bulls and all of them, they outside on chains. They don't get proper food. You just give them anything. Then you got dogs that you put in purses. You carry them around and you make sure they have good gourmet. So when you say that, you gotta be careful. What kind of dog you working with?
yeah,
You got a what is it, a cane corso? Those are dogs that are protectors, and they at the house and they stout and different type of thing. And you pour into the right meal, you put into them good. So it just depends on what type of dog you're dealing with, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, yeah. I think very, very, very good, Avisha. I also think that we have to be particularly careful in the Black community because we are slowly tearing each other apart. And so before we start putting the word all Black men or all Black men that, we want to be careful and go, I've had an experience, I had a bad experience with a man. In the Black community, we have to make sure that we are our safe place for each other because the world is not going to protect us. The government is not going to protect us. The country is not going to protect us. We have to protect ourselves. And so we just want to be mindful of that, is that we need to learn how to love each other better too, because we have to heal each other.
yeah, yeah. And again, sometimes it's having to do a hard reset and change everything
Mhm.
that you think about relationship because Miss, you
Hmm.
talked about this earlier. Sometimes you've just been taught wrong, right?
Yeah.
And you are a product, that whole nurture versus nature mindset. What you've been surrounded with, um, desperation, neglect, number of things can really shape your perspective. But that's why I think it's always important to try to get around like-minded people that you want to see grow, not perfect people, but people that are trying to grow and trying to bring out the best in each other. And that's your environment is so important in that aspect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You there, Gregory? I think we're losing you.
One,
There you go. Yeah,
are
you
you?
good. There you go.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you looking
All right.
like you fading away.
Straight up in my seat then. Let me make sure I'm here.
Now you stuck. There you go.
Am I? Am I here?
Yeah, you go. We can hear you. It's freezing up, but you can go.
Yeah, keep
Okay.
going. We can hear you.
Well, and I'll say that one area where men feel underappreciated or not valued enough is an area of affection. Oftentimes, men will complain that they don't receive enough affection in a relationship with their woman.
Mm.
Necessarily sex, but not necessarily not sex also. But there is the idea that men, you may have heard this, men tend to suffer from a condition called skin hunger. And what that means is that men don't get as much physical touch as women do generally. So if you have a house full of children, generally children will be more lovey-dovey or touching with mom. So mom almost to in an abundance level get a lot of touching and hugs and kisses where men don't. And so men oftentimes go days without being hugged, without being touched. And that tends to leave a desire inside of them that goes unfulfilled. So one area where a man does feel underappreciated is in the area of affection, not necessarily sex, but not sex either. And so just a stroking of the back, a holding of the hand, a rubbing of the arm, those type of things, like I'm here, I'm present, and I'm connected. Those type of physical does increase the bonding for a man. Men by nature are just more physical than women. Another area that I think women be mindful of to man feel appreciated.
Yeah, and it's not. What it also does is it validates the man without actually doing it verbally, right? You got your verbal and nonverbal ways of communicating. That touch is a way of validating his importance and worthiness in your life as well.
And I
Yeah,
think that,
I was touchy though. I like to rub your tip because I'm a hairstylist, so the pressure points to
yeah,
relax a man, and I just. But then I kind of feel like I'm in the man category now. I might have to learn touch all over again. I've been singing for almost 4 years, but anyway.
Touch. That's that song. Touch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What you about to say, Greg?
oh, I was going to say, I think sometimes we have to relearn non-sexual intimacy as well, because a lot
Mhm.
of times I think women have been programmed by just bad experiences that anytime a man makes a move on her, that he's immediately headed towards sex. And that's not always true. That if I just want to hold your hand or put my hand on your arm or on your back or on your shoulder, doesn't mean I'm trying to initiate sex. It just means I want to try to make contact. And so
Yeah, you're right.
men, I
It don't
think,
mean
could.
it, but since you touching me, let's I'm
What
just
you say? What you say, Gerard?
I said you're right, it don't mean that, but since you touching me, let's go ahead. Nah, bad joke, bad timing, my bad.
I know men though. Well, let me say this: dealing with men though, sometimes if you got to know the right fabrics to wear and not to wear. Now, if you don't want to be touched, put on flannel.
Ain't got
Anything,
nothing to
they
do with
come. But all them moo and silks and you asking to be chased around the house or be bothered. I'm just trying to help y'all out,
put
but
that flannel on around me. I'm gonna be like, come on, cowgirl, we still. It don't matter.
Go ahead, Gregory.
Yeah. So I have one last point before we get into examples of how you can appreciate a man, and that is a lack of respect. And so we're going to define respect as an appreciation for his opinions or thoughts. The appreciation for his opinions or thoughts. And so oftentimes when women make decisions around the house involving the kids or involving just life in general, the husband's thoughts or opinions are not taken into consideration. And so when he shows that lack of respect, he feels underappreciated. You're not necessarily running it by him to get his approval, but men really appreciate these words. What do you think about it, babe? When a man hears that from his woman, what do you think about it? it really makes us stand up tall. It makes us go, wow, she respects what I'm thinking. I feel valued. I feel important. I feel like what I have to say matters. And so when women practice going on about their day, making multiple decisions without involving their man, not to say that you can't, it's not to lower your value, but if you want to show him appreciation, those words really kick it into high gear. Hey, babe, what do you think about this? That's another way you can show your man appreciation,
And Greg,
or
that
some
doesn't
ways that make
that
them
doesn't mean
appreciate.
that she's giving away her power or her influence. She's
No,
just consulting, right?
no,
Would you?
right,
Okay.
So you're saying, in other words,
yeah,
like, babe, what would you like to eat tonight? Not just, oh, I cooked chicken and potatoes.
right, and or hey, I want to redecorate the house. What do you think is a good color for the bathroom? Or you think we could get
Yes,
some new curtains? What do you think about these things? Yeah, including him on plans that you have or decisions that you're trying to make it feel like a partnership.
Well, hell, I feel like I'm top tier at this point. I mean, I'm just saying. Because if it came down like we both got to sleep in the bedroom, I'm not finna make it pink with sparkles. Because we live in there. I always, for me, it was always making a bedroom masculine, feminine. That means I got a touch of something, but it made the man feel he was a part of it. That's just me. Even the house now, living room, and he got his space. We make it together. But even where I slept, I feel like it should not just be about, oh, this is my sanctuary. No, we both reside here, and we should be comfortable, and it should speak to both of us living in this space.
You'll be surprised how many women don't, because we get trapped into this
No,
ideology
no, no,
of
no.
gender roles.
I totally believe
Yeah.
it, baby. I be seeing some stuff. I'm like, well, he in the bathroom with sparkles too. Sprinkle him.
yeah, you
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Hey, I'll get a couple more comments before we wrap up and let
Okay.
Gregory give us these good takeaway pointers. But Amin said, I think every man and woman should have that one person to talk to, whether if it's a spouse, a friend, a family member. Reason for that is everybody can't wrap their mind around certain things. You're right. We talk about that all the time about a person's capacity, their
Hmm.
understanding, right? You can bring something to somebody and they can have the best of intentions and want to help you. But if that's not their area of specialty, or, it might not be what they can help you on. So I think, people that are into church, sometimes it's their pastor. If it's a counselor or a therapist or somebody, with wisdom and that you trust, though, so that they don't violate that trust in between you two. Anything you want to add on that?
No, I agree. And
Yeah.
sometimes I will add this. Sometimes I think it's best to find somebody outside of both of our circles, because sometimes there are biased times because one person knows more, about this person, whatever. But I just feel like you should be able to say, hey, let me lead you somewhere that can help you with this situation. And that way it is definitely a safe space, because there's nobody that can repeat even after that. But everybody do need somebody they can go to, though. They really do.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I think it's a yellow flag if a woman doesn't have other female friends, and that she has a trusted group of women, or a bestie that she can talk to and go hang out with. I would want my woman to have a reliable, intelligent, God-fearing best friend or friend in her life, knowing someone who's going to speak life into her, encourage her in a positive way. So I
And
always
hold
thought
her
it.
accountable.
Hmm.
We don't like accountable girlfriends either, though. I don't need my girlfriends always be telling me, yeah, girl, you right. Knowing I was needed to probably close it up and suck up the words before I let them come out. Hold me accountable, put my feet to the fire. And so many times we just ride together because we don't want to offend nobody. Well, you
Yeah,
better offend me if we gonna keep moving on. And I want
if
to be
you
the
was wrong.
same way. If I've disrespected or dishonored him or spoke to him in the wrong manner, you could tell me you spoke to him wrong and you need to go back and apologize.
I
That's
totally agree.
growth. I'm
I
just
Yeah,
talking
totally
about
agree.
yeah,
growth over here, baby.
yeah.
Okay,
Come
anyway,
on.
keep
And one
going.
more, my cousin EB says, great show. I haven't
Oh, this
tuned in
funny.
for a while. Appreciate that, because he said if Greg goes into the matrix again, he said he's tuned in twice.
Go back in the matrix, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you got some good nuggets to give people some takeaways. Go back and be
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
What you got?
yeah. So, for the ladies that are interested in how to appreciate your man, this is the time you get your pen and your paper, get your cell phone out, and go open up your notes app. And so, we're going to run through a list of things that I like to offer women that are trying to encourage their man. And number one, speak to the king in him. That when you speak to him, you're only speaking positivity in him. I was counseling a couple years ago, and the husband had lost his job, and he felt like his wife was nagging him about finding another job, and he was like, it's not that easy. I'm putting in applications, I'm making phone calls and all that, and she just keeps picking on me. And so she explained, she told me what she was saying to him, and the way that he interpreted what she was saying was completely off, because what he was hearing is, why can't you do this and why can't you do that? And when I heard it, what I heard her saying was really on point. She was actually saying, I know that my man, when he puts his mind to something, he can get it done. This ain't nothing but
Mm.
light work for him. I know that if my man rolled up his sleeves, he'll have a new job in no time. But because of his own insecurities, he wasn't able to receive that. And so, ladies, when your man is discouraged, he was heavily discouraged because he lost a job and he was living off of her income only. And so you have to keep speaking to the king in him. Remind him he is a man of God. He's a child of the king. And if he puts his mind to it, no weapon that's formed against him shall prosper. That he can do all things through Christ. Just speak that king into him, because a man has a king and a clown in him. And you're going to get the one that you speak to the most. You speak to the clown too much, your life is going to be a circus. So speak to the king in him. That's number one. Number two, this is a little trick that I think most women don't know, but men love. At our ages and stages, there's not many things that are first anymore. So whenever there's a first anything, acknowledge it before, during, and after. So hypothetically speaking, if you've never been bowling before, but your man takes you bowling, before you get to the bowling alley, go, babe, I've never been bowling before. I'm looking forward to this. While you're at the bowling alley, go, babe, this is fun. This is my first time. And then after it's over, say to him, thank you. No man has ever done this before for me before, because a man loves when he's able to set new paths in his woman's life. So if your man has created an experience for you, a romantic evening, he wrote a poem, he sung a song, he did something for you that no other man has ever done before, what's going to make him feel good is that when you acknowledge, no one has ever done this before and you are my first. That feels great to us when we hear that. Number three,
Yeah.
you like that one?
Yeah, that was dope,
Acknowledge,
man.
acknowledge the first. Acknowledge the first. Remain neutral when you speak about other men. Don't insult, but then don't over exaggerate. So we could say something like, Gerard is a nice dresser, perfectly acceptable. But don't go, he is the best dressed man I have ever seen in my life. No one does it better than him. I don't want to hear that.
Oh,
And
I'm
then
gonna have to
also,
work on that, Lord. Lord gonna have to
and then
prepare
also,
me.
right,
No.
when speaking to your man, don't over exaggerate, and then also don't insult. We also don't want to hear Gerard dress is awful. He's terrible. Does he get dressed in the dark? We don't want to hear that either, because we feel like you're
Yeah.
just trashing men all the time.
Yeah.
So remain neutral, remain right there in the middle. And the reason why you do that is because the next thing that I'm going to say is going to feel even uh, more potent, and that is when you compliment him publicly. If you're remaining neutral about other men, and then in public you go, oh, my man is the best griller that I've ever seen. Nobody has been better with the kids than my man that I have right now. Because you remain neutral with other men, when you do give a compliment to your man, it's going to feel like an esteemed honor. So reserve that space of esteemed honor just for your man, and that will help him feel greatly appreciated. Now, here's the big one. This is the last one I'm going to leave you with, and this is a big one. So you've got your pen and your paper, write this one down. And this one, I'm telling you, is going to work every single time. Compliment him on a skill that he has. So oftentimes in relationships, women will compliment exterior things. Babe, that's a nice haircut. I love that outfit. Or I love the smell of your cologne. We love that. Don't ever stop doing that. Please keep that coming. But compliment him on something that isn't external but internal. His sense of humor, his wisdom, his insight, or a particular skill that he has, because that's going to make him seen. because any man can get a haircut, any man can buy a new bottle of cologne, any man can buy a nice outfit. But when you compliment me on something that is unique to me, that makes me feel seen. And so if you compliment me on my sense of humor, my spirituality, my wisdom, my insight, something like that, that really touches my heart. The other compliments stroke my ego, and please don't stop doing that. We want to hear it. But if you want to touch his heart, compliment him on a skill that he has, not just something that he can go buy at a store. And those are my tip, you ladies.
That's good. That's good. And I want to ask you something, Gregory, because sometimes I hear some women saying, like, this a needy man. And like, if I got to do all that, he is needy.
Then be
So what do you
single,
draw the
man.
line? Yeah.
Then
So,
be
but
single.
how do you draw the line between, doing those things and then now, like, hey, I'm happy to build this broken man up, like, because there is that as well. Like, how do you know the difference?
Well, I want to address that in two different ways. So I'm gonna answer it directly. The question that you're answering is that you can tell a boy from a man. You may have heard this before. You tell a boy from a man because a boy is someone who is looking to be served, and a man is someone who's looking to serve. So you can judge if you got a needy man or a man by what is he willing to give as much as he's willing to receive. So a boy is looking for looking to be served. A man is looking to serve. And so that's how you can identify if he needs you to get him up every morning to go to work, then get you a new man. That's not the man that you want. So that is number one. The number two is that if you're not willing to put in the work for the relationship, then just be single, because you can't get anything new in life and not expect it to change your lifestyle. You can't get a goldfish. You can't get a pet. There's nothing new. You can't get a new coffee pot and not expect it to change your routine. But hopefully, the benefit, the results you get from that investment is worth the effort. And so I've been mindful lately of changing my language around relationships and calling that relationships of work. But now I use the language relationships take effort. Effort is your willingness to participate in the success of this relationship. And so if you got to have that willingness to participate and do those things, it's going to require effort. But if you feel like your bottom line, you're extending more than you're receiving back, then that's the time you walk away, because it should be work, but it should also be worth it.
Worth it. Man, that's dope. That's dope, man.
And we can tell he putting in the work.
Yeah. So, hey, I hope everybody took those notes down, man. If not, if you came in late or if you've been watching the whole time, there's always the replay. So make sure you go back and check them out and put those negatives down. But it's been a long time, Gregory. It has been a long time coming. But we haven't had the love note. To wrap up.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I was singing that in my head, but I was like, I wasn't gonna put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I may have to get a little warmed up here.
Okay. What you got for us, though? Give some good words of inspiration on Miss IC.
I just feel like women need to think of. I know flowers sound crazy for a man to be, but I feel like men still have an aroma, right? And I feel like when you get the essence of the aroma of the man that you are with, and you know how to tend to him correctly, then you will know how to deposit into him when too much is too much, and when he needs a little bit more, or when enough is just way over the top. So I feel like we need to put more time into thinking about how you cultivate anything that you want it to grow. You're going to put time and effort, and you're going to study it. It's just like your job. If you want to get the raise or the promotion, then you're going to do proper protocol and procedure to be able to elevate to the next level. And sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes it feels like it's a heavy load, and sometimes you can feel like you put in a whole lot of work. But once you find the rhythm and the proper technique that you need to put into it, then you'll begin to see how you can navigate the relationship, on how you need to scale back. Because if I put too much on this, it makes the entrance too high, and then we're not going to yield the right return. So if I don't put in the right amount, then I'm going to be in a deficit. But if I put in just the right amount, then I'll know how to make the stock market, because relationships, just like the stock market, they're gonna go up, they're gonna go down when you have to do different things. It's the right timing on how you have to know how to buy into the stock and how to pull back out. Then I'm just learning this because I'm in corporate now, but it makes sense to me now. And so now when you learn these different things, I have to know how to make this work. And then it's about knowing what the strong points in him are and how I can cultivate him. And it's like you say, the way you speak to him and how you need to encourage him. I feel like when you know the man where he's come from and some of the hurts that he has endured, then you know how to speak to the gentleman in him, because I feel like every man has a three-part: boy, man, gentleman. So many times we get stuck with the boy and the man because the boy has some things he has to be healed for, well, let go of, and the man has to be healed. But there's a gentleman that I believe wants to take center stage, to be able to walk with you, hold his hands, be everything that he needs to be, because you've allowed him the space and the opportunity to do it. So what I would say is, honey, just as delicate of a flower that you look like we are and that we need to be handled with care, I'll just look at him as a fine watch, baby, that need to fine tune it. And that's like a Rolex. You don't have to do too much. You just always need to make sure that it's set just right, put it where it need to be, but I'll tend to it. I won't put too much pressure to crack it or anything like that, but I will nurture it, or I will tend to it and make sure that I keep it in a safe place. And if I have to go get it fine tuned, I know who to take him to: the Father.
Right on.
Lord, is something that I need. Lord, even to go to the Father about the man that you're with prior to. Lord, there's some things that I see, and if I say it the wrong way, then it's going to scar him. I need to be able to make sure that I'm building him up. And if I'm too harsh, because sometimes we can get into our feelings and our emotions, because we're emotional beings, and sometimes we like to clap back and all these different things. But I don't want to bring a storm into a place that's going to tear something up, when I need to just be on an island, baby, where the breeze come through. The storm may be further out, but I don't want to bring it to the surface. So look at your man as an island, baby, that's far away, and you don't want nothing to come through and tear it up. And if I'm going to be a part of that, then I need to check myself. So check yourself before we wreck ourselves.
Yeah.
Tend to that man in the capacity that you see him as, not the broken. Because I feel like when you get to a place of growth, that you don't attract the things that you used to. You do desire something more. And I know sometimes we don't like to hear the word intimidation. And intimidation sounds bad, but a man that can intimidate to be better, to pull something great out of me, bring it to the table. It may make me uncomfortable for a minute, but will it take me to a newer level or a greater purpose of loving you differently and handling you correctly? I'll take that any day. So that's all I got to say, honey.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph Snuffy, man, that was some spoken word right there. And
Okay.
my words just some simple. And Miss, you was kind of hitting with the whole investment thing, but if you appreciate your man, your relationship will appreciate in value.
Mm.
Simple as that. Yeah,
I love that.
it's just the investment. So put the work in, and you know, I don't know if y'all remember the guy we had on the show. His name was Furious Styles. He brought this up. He heard it from somewhere else, but he says anything with life is supposed to grow, and if it's not growing, it's because it's dying, and it's probably not because you're not nurturing it. So, like Gregory said, I'm gonna take away the word work too. I'm gonna use effort. Put the effort in. You know, cultivate, like Misha said, and if you show that appreciation, your relationship will appreciate. So that's my word. So
I love it.
got
I
a
love
couple
it.
more
Great show.
yeah. Last little comments we want to put on. Oh man,
Yeah.
my boy Miracle. Well, yeah, here you go. Miracle says, y'all doing an excellent job, bro. Keep pushing.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate the
Appreciate it.
encouragement right here.
Much love.
He says it's always good to have great intellectual conversation with people who are in tune with reality. That's true. I like that he used the word reality in there, because some people living in la la land or what they would only like it to be, which is not necessarily bad. But I think you have to have a moment, an element of truth and reality, right? What's really going on. So I like that he said that. But he says, I'm loving everything about this show. I've been on the road on the East Coast, and I'm in Texas County for 6 months. I'll be tuning in. Appreciate your fam. Appreciate the words and all that. And
absolutely.
Also, man, hey, I'm proud of you too, bro. Man, you know, we from from the gritty streets, man, and you're doing well, man. I love you, man. I'm proud of what you're doing. Keep up the good work, man. OG Run right here, Misha. He says, "What up, fam? We gonna catch the replay."
Yeah, and I gotta catch up with y'all. Hit you back.
Yeah, yeah. And our sister from another Mister Latawana.
Tawana, what's up? What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah. And
Y'all saw Corley on here.
yeah, Corey's on there too. He said tuning in. Unity Outreach Podcast. You know, I always love to give shout out to other podcasts. Appreciate you for
Thank you
tuning
for
in.
watching.
He said, well said. Our sister Ivory, you know,
Yes.
she's been pretty transparent, and she's been dealing with some medical challenges. But I've been keeping in touch with her. She's in great spirit. She's human, but you know what? She's one of those that even in her deficit, she finds something to pour out and to do for other
Truth
people.
and fact.
And it reminds me of this sermon I heard from this pastor once. He says, when you're going through the storm, you serve your way through. You know, and the service is specific for you and based off of your spiritual gift. But she's doing just that, and she actually started got her own website, and I'm gonna put it up here. So Ivory, she said she was gonna be tuning in. I don't know if she's still in the audience or not, but Ivory website is ivorycares.com. And man, proof of what I just said, she's going through what she's going through, but she's still out there being a voice of encouragement and wisdom and just resilience as a shining example for us all. So we love you, Ivory.
We love you.
Yeah, keep fighting, and we're here for you, and we
Definitely,
can't get you back on here.
Yeah, the heart of a lion.
For sure.
Yes.
Sure. Gregory,
Yeah.
let's do what you do, brother.
Hey, you know, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to be back in the house with my fam. I love you guys, and I love doing the show with you week after week, bringing these conversations, moving the needle forward. Hopefully, being a blessing to all of our listeners. Also, please keep the comments long after the show. We will be dropping in the comments even after the show, so you keep the comments coming. We'll be checking in and adding our 2 cents afterwards. So, thank you and Amisha, please. We want you back every time, so don't be a stranger, okay?
Yeah.
You know where
pour
home
into
is.
me. Pour into me.
You know the address. You welcome. You know what? Listen, it's always ladies' night when you hear ladies get in free. So come on and join us over here at the Floor is Yours podcast.
Well,
But to everyone else, thank you. Everyone else, hey, thank you so much for joining. We love you guys. You are the reason why we do this. The Floor is Yours podcast is exactly that. This is your podcast. So if you have any topic that you want us to discuss, just let us know in the comments, and we will discuss it and give you our perspective. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, we love you. Peace, love, and hair grease. We out.
Need another, this one here really do it for you.